His lips softly crashed onto me. This is the best thing ever! What's up, unicorns? How you doing? Today we are reading Danisnotonfire Fanfiction, for which I found a bottle of red martini. Drink responsibly. I have mad cleavage going on, Jesus Christ. Well, that's half a bottle. I am a bad influence and you should not do as I do. I'm almost 30, I know what I'm doing. Cheers. Also, this lipstick was not a good idea. Yeah, no, this lipstick was definitely not a good idea. Can you see it? Not a good idea. Okay. Funny thing, I did not search for Danisnotonfire smut. I literally searched for Dan Howell sex. You know, Dan is one of these people who has repeatedly said, like, you know, don't get offended over stuff on the internet. People will make fan fictions, it's fine if it's sexual, whatever. If I misunderstood that, then I'm sorry and I don't mean to offend anyone, let me know. We're gonna do this and we're gonna have some fun. I'm having that kind of a binge watching spell with Dan right now, and it reaffirmed how beautiful of a man he really is, both appearance-wise and character-wise. And I have to admit that I get up on that. I do, Dan. If I had the opportunity, I would respectfully and consensually. Yeah. Who are your celebrity crushes or your YouTube crushes? I'd like to know, leave it in the comments. Here's one titled Shower Sex, which appeals to me. This is written by C'est La Vie, and I will link to their Wattpad in the description so you can go read this for yourselves. Cheers! Title self-explanatory. You see what you did there? Hi, internet! You can hear Dan talking to his camera across the hall in his room as you take off your clothes in the bathroom to have a hot shower. You are feeling quite crappy today, but Dan was too preoccupied with filming his new video to even notice. Wow, Dan, you're already a dick. When the water was I've tried starting that sentence 3 times, and this is how you can tell that I am really feeling the booze. When the water was the right temperature, you stepped in under the shower head and started to rub your neck to release some built-up tension. But just as you start to wash yourself with shower gel, wash yourself? To wash isn't reflexive, is it? Anyway, with shower gel, not with like ground lettuce, not weirdly rubbing banana peels all over your chest. It's just shower gel, relax, okay? So, but just as you start to wash yourself with shower gel, you notice Dan has gone considerably quiet in his room. Then you pass up the thought and continue what you were doing. So I'm not really sure why you had the thought in the first place, or why it was important to mention that you had the thought. If you're just going to... I'm already confused. La. Shower gel. You hear a small clicking noise from the door, but you assumed it was just a slight breeze rattling it a little. As you wash out the shampoo you had put in your hair, the shower curtain flies open. Fun fact, flies here is spelled F-L-Y-S. If that is not hipster, then I don't know what is. Anyway, as you wash out the shampoo you had put in your hair, the shower curtain flies open and you flinch, spinning around to see Dan standing, smirking at you. He smirks at you? This is not very romantic nor sexy so far, so I mean, I hope it picks up a little. Let me just drink for some courage. Fuck's sake, don't scare me like that! I've shouted at him in fright. Dan chuckles at your reaction and pulls his t-shirt off. Well, that escalated quickly. Mind if I join you? He winks seductively at you as he continues to strip off his clothes, without bothering to wait for you to give an answer. You know, I like to think that Dan really values consent, so I mean, unless you have an ongoing agreement that it's okay for him to like hop into the shower with you at any given moment, this is kind of fishy, like that he asks and then just doesn't wait for you to answer and just goes ahead anyway. I mean, maybe I'm reading too much into this, but it's kind of like the vibe where he didn't care about your day and then just sort of sneaks up on you, and the fact that you're startled, and then he asks if he can, and he just doesn't wait for you to say, yeah, sure. The combination of things just kind of makes it but let it go, Amelia, drink more martini. Let it go, let it go. So you're scared shitless, and Dan hopped under the shower with you without waiting for you to tell him that it was okay to do so. I guess I don't mind as long as you massage my shoulders for me, he replied as he stepped into the shower with you. Okay, so I guess that we're fine with that. I don't know if Dan gives good massage. Do you, Dan? Do you give good massages? I'll take your word for it. I don't need to test that out unless, you know, that's what you want. Fangirl dreams. His lips softly crashed onto This is the best thing ever! His lips softly crashed onto yours. Never mind that we went from, oh, let me instantaneously take my t-shirt off and step on the shower with you without actually verifying if that's okay with you, but then, I mean, out of the blue, I'm all of a sudden crash landing onto your mouth, but somehow it's soft. What is this even? What is this mental image that you had in your mind when you wrote this sentence? I don't even know. So his lips softly crashed onto yours as you felt his hands rubbing and soothing the pressure in your shoulders. You hum contentedly and wrap your arms around his back, briefly resting your head on his wet chest. You could feel Dan's semi-hard cock brush off your thigh, and you give him a smug look. In the mood, are we? You whisper in his ear before beginning to suck the sweet spot on his neck. It's literally what it says. It says, the thought of your naked body all wet was turning me on too much. I had to stop my video because it was becoming painfully obvious my mind was elsewhere. But can you blame me? You're so attractive and I still can't believe you're mine. Dan grinned. I'm sorry, but so far, Dan has been inconsiderate of your feelings, startled you to pieces, did not wait for you to consent before he stripped naked and hopped in the shower with you, and now he's being very possessive. This is not the Dan Howell I know, okay? This feels very out of character. I need to drink my way through this. There is just no other solution. You run your fingers through his messy soaked hair as he fondles your breasts and nipples. You let a small groan slip out because you loved it when he played with your nipples. He leaned his forehead on yours and kissed you hungrily, your tongues slipping together. I have nothing against that. By now you were turned on as hell by the sight. Oh no, sorry, I almost read that wrong and it would have meant something completely different. By now you were turned on as hell, and by the sight of his rock-hard throbbing cock, so was Dan. Imagine for a second that I had left that "and" out. That would have meant that you were turned on as hell by the sight of his rock-hard cock, and that by the sight of his rock-hard cock, Dan got turned on as well, which is very different. You slip your hand down his cock and start slowly pumping as he clutches onto your ass with his big hands. You get down on your knees and dip your head to his groin and slip your tongue over the tip of his cock. That's what it says. Don't tease, he hissed, and you slowly took his whole cock into your mouth, bobbing up and down a few times before releasing it from your mouth, much to Dan's disappointment. I don't get that. Teasing is the best part of it, like for real. I mean, I like to imagine teasing is nice. It feels nice. I imagine it also feels nice for men, plus it's nice to do. It's fun to tease, and it's fun to be teased. I don't know why there's so much hate for teasing and not getting straight down to the action. Teasing is the best of the best things that ever existed that are great and good in the world. I mean. And in my mind, Dan Howell is a person who likes teasing because in my headspace, Dan Howell is the perfect lover. I mean, no, nobody is a perfect lover, but still, I like to imagine that he's not that kind of instantly get down to business and deep throat my penis. Ugh. Anyway, then you stood back up and said with a husky tone, "My turn," while pushing him down on his knees in front of you. I like that. I like the initiative. I like the fierce, womanly, I have a vagina that likes to be licked. I have a right to oral sex and orgasms. Get down on your knees, boy, and do as I have done for you. I find that very empowered, and these are points towards this writer, I think. Let me try that again. You feel him kiss the inside of your thighs all the way up until he reaches your wet core. You go weak at the knees when he flicks his tongue over your clit repeatedly before sucking on it and making your head tilt back and a moan to escape your lips. Can't argue with that either. Do need a drink though. You know, aside from the criticism that I've had on this, I am enjoying myself very much. You couldn't take it anymore. You needed his solid cock pounding into you already. Get yourself together, Ames. He stood up, then lifted you up to wrap your legs around his waist. With your back resting against the wall, you turned off the water as it wasn't needed anymore. Okay, no, there is no point in turning the water off. There is no point in mentioning it. Even if she did turn the water off, it breaks the tension. Don't write that. I mean, and you're under the shower, you're having hot, naked sex with your boyfriend, and it's horny, and you want him, and you want to be fucked like an animal. You're not gonna reach over and turn the water off, okay? You leave the water on! Damn! I get overly excited about things like this, okay? I get overly excited. I don't have a lot of good, decent, awesome sex in my life, so I have to make do with fantasies. So if the fantasies aren't perfect, I get a little bit worked up. A little bit, just a little bit, okay? Okay. Anyway, he positioned himself at your entrance, and you gasped a little as he first pushed himself entirely into you and back out gently, not wanting to hurt you, but you greedily dug your fingers into his shoulders and begged him to go faster now that you'd adjusted to him. Okay, that doesn't go that fast though. It's not like you put it in and the next millisecond your vagina's like, oh, cool, okay, let me just stretch on up a little bit. A vagina does that, by the way, in case you didn't know. It does get like deeper depending on the length of the penis that you put into it, but it's not an instantaneous kind of, I assume. Any sexologists want to correct me on that, sure, but I'm pretty sure that that's not how that works. Burpees. Woo! Wanna check out this lipstick? It's fucking disgusting, just like this fanfic. Who am I kidding? This fanfic is great. Thank you so much for writing that. Dan began to thrust into you harder and in rhythm, with your hips rocking down onto him. You felt the muscles of your vagina tightening around his throbbing cock as pleasure washed over you both as you moaned each other's names loudly in unison. Your thighs began to tremble as you approached your orgasm. I'm gonna come. No, oh wait. I'm gonna come! You shrieked as Dan crashed into your G-spot again and again. As I've mentioned while reading the Robert IDK fanfiction, this whole G-spot thing is not actually, I mean, does everybody know about the anatomy of a clitoris? Because a clitoris is actually not just the little nubbin that you have outside. It's an organ that is quite large on the inside, which sort of wraps around your vagina, the inside of your vagina, and it also swells like a penis. So it fills with blood, it swells up, and the G-spot presumably is the place in your vagina where you kind of have the most sensitivity from those parts of your clitoris also like touching on your vaginal wall, but it's not the same sensitivity with everybody, and with some people it's probably like not as clear that there's actually that spot where for educational purposes I will look up something about accurate clitoris anatomy and link to it in the description below, so that all you girls who don't know about this yet get properly educated on what your own vaginas look like and how your own pleasure works, because it's important and empowering, so go check that out. In the meanwhile, I'm going to take another sip of this martini. You came and rode out your orgasm. A few more thrusts and you felt Dan climax inside of you as he heavily panted your name repeatedly. He set you down on your feet as you held onto each other, still coming down from your heavenly high. Dan kissed your tender lips lightly. God, I really do love you. He sighed happily, making me blush. I love you too. You sighed back cutely. Comment your favorite bath products. Mine is tea tree oil. Everything. Tea tree oil face wash is the best. Okay, that's randomly underneath that. I really like the Dove shower gel which has this cucumber stuff in it, and I'm a sucker for coconut. Anything that smells like a coconut is my friend. Anyway, but I guess I should be talking about this fanfic. It was pretty good. Personally, I like to drag out sex scenes. I like to make them long. I like to be very descriptive. I like to have conversation in between. But I understand that, you know, if you write like sort of a one-shot like this, you're not gonna write like a 5,000 word sex scene. I get that, it's a one-shot. I mean, come on, you have to sort of like move forward. And for that purpose, I think it was rather good. The grammar wasn't like super shitty. There weren't like a super buttload of spelling mistakes. So language-wise, it was okay. Also, like the vocabulary was not super cringy. You can write sex that is extremely cringy under any circumstances. And that's not what this was. I mean, it was pretty okay. It was pretty good. Like the wording and the descriptions weren't overly what the fuck even is this. I might have gotten a little bit worked up about the water being turned off in the shower, but you know, despite the criticisms that I did have, and also like Dan is portrayed as a very inconsiderate person and a very inconsiderate boyfriend at first here, and that is I think what irks me the most. If anything bothers me about this one shot, it's that. The characterization of Dan kind of bothers me. Though he doesn't make it up by caring about my orgasm and by telling me he loves me and by kissing me sweetly after I've come and after he's come. So that, sure. But I sort of feel like he was portrayed as a bit of a douchebag in the beginning, and I don't wanna feel about Dan like he's a douchebag. I mean, that doesn't make my vagina wet. That doesn't get my pussy juices flowing. That doesn't make my undies drop through the concrete. And that's what I need from sexual anything. If you write smut, you have to write it with the intention of people reading that late at night at 4 AM on their phones in their bed, trying not to make their parents in the other room hear that they're heavily panting and masturbating, and trying not to scream Dan Howell's name for all the neighbors to hear. That's what you want to achieve. But overall, not excessively cringy, not badly written, pretty solid. Pretty okay, yeah. I mean, it's not star quality work, but I'd masturbate to that. So let me know if you'd masturbate to that. If you don't want to get that intimate, if that's a little bit TMI for you, it's okay. You don't have to know. But if you have any fanfics to suggest to me, you can leave that in the comments, or you can contact me on Twitter. I will gladly read them. They don't have to be sexual or smut. I would be very glad to do fluff or any other kinds of fanfics. The ones I come across and the ones I pick will always be smut, because I'm a sucker for anything that's sexual. So I can't help that. But I hope you like this a little bit. I'm going to finish this martini because I like the buzz that I have going on right now, and I will see you later with more unicorn shenanigans. I love you. Unihorn, stay magical.